Years ago during the Broomgate scandal, Terry, I was in Ottawa watching in person when all of the testing around the brush fabric was happening. And
Oh, yeah?
at one point, they were using robotic equipment from the laboratories to try and get consistency around how hard a stone was thrown as they were testing the various brush fabrics, as this stone is going to come up short. And they just couldn't get satisfactory performance out of the rock throwing robot for consistency. And so, who'd they ask to throw the same weight shot after shot after shot after shot? Mark Kennedy.
Yeah. Been around
Better
a
than a
while.
robot.
Yeah, he's got a pretty hefty resume.
So decision point coming up here for Team Pierce with that stone coming short. They're lying. Second shot, their center guard's up. Playing a double takeout on the yellow is really dangerous. All kinds of risks of a jam.
Yeah.
And difficult to navigate on the intern side, a draw path to get around that red. So not a lot of fantastic options here for Brent. But they are going to try the draw by the looks of it. They're going to have to skinny that corner guard to make it, though. Good chance, though, if he does make this one, to really lock in a force.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think, that guard, it is high, but they're going to have to come really tight to that, I would think.
The rocks break so hard, so late here, Terry, and
that's why I think
it looks like a big hole, but I can tell you it's not. Just watch the path of this stone as it approaches that top guard, and then watch how much it moves after that. Delicate shot here for Brent Pierce. He knows he's going to have to come close to that corner guard to make it, so they're sweeping it out there to keep it out there.
Yeah,
by the corner guard,
good.
Not by the center guard, but maybe a fraction strong.
Oh, it is. It's just a smidge heavy.
One of those situations, Terry, I think, where we're so conscious of that corner guard, you're sweeping it for line more than weight, and then all of a sudden, oops, you're 2 feet heavy.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. They were making sure that they kept it out there as long as they could, and unfortunately for Brent and his team, it was just Pac-12, and they needed to be top 4. We'll get another look here, too, at the path for Brad's Rock. I think maybe Brent might throw a little bit more rotation. I'm not sure, but...
Yep. Brad's got the exact same challenge. You're right, is the exact same path. And
yeah,
Brent was back 8. I mean, he did not clear that corner guard by much.
I know.
And if you're throwing T-line weight, it's going to break harder. So this is equally difficult for Brad Jacobs to navigate.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised he didn't play the tap on the yellow, only in that it might have given him a shot for 3.
Trying to wedge another one in here, and if there's anybody in the sport that's going to be able to keep the rock straight, it's this guy, Ben Hebert. Absolutely leaning on it to get around that center guard.
This is absolutely perfect.
Well,
I guess 3 is definitely in play.
That's the impact that a Ben Hebert can have on a game.
Yeah, what a tremendous sweep that is. I don't know how much Benny weighs, but I mean, every ounce of that body is on the ice surface on that broom.
Yep, getting incredible leverage.
which
Now,
is now
early in
forced.
this game, this is almost, well, you don't want to say it's a game shot,
I know,
but
but it is.
it's an incredibly important shot for Team Pierce. Not the shot that you want to have to try and pull out of the bag in this situation.
No, you got that right. So he's looking at that by the looks of things, trying to tap that red one in for shot.
So contact point is going to have to be just off nose on the high side. Weight that he's going to be thinking about is going to be about back button. Big shot early in this game for Brent Pierce.
For sure.
It's on its way. Johnson and Umbach.
This is
handy with the brushes themselves.
Yeah.
Saw how much Nicholas
got
can
to
carve
curl
it.
a
Now they're
bit.
swinging.
Yeah.
Needs to finish, but I don't think it will.
No.
No, it will come up short. And so an opportunity now for Brad Jacobs. He's got 2 in the bag. Brad says just patting the forefoot. Yeah, we could try something crazy to try and get more than 3, but no point. Let me just throw the same shot I just threw, guys. You can duplicate the shot that he just threw. It will be a 3 on the board for Brad Jacobs. Can get to contact on shot rock and still lie 3.
Yeah, and that would be a tremendous start to their game.
So the ever-aggressive Brad Jacobs really went for it here in the first end, and here's the potential payoff. A chance to throw a 3 ball on the board first up.
Yeah, Brad looked like he may not have got all the way out there, but he, looking at the line, he in-outed it.
Well, now they're having to sweep for curl. They got to get by that corner guard. They're by it now just.
Yeah. Perfect.
Hoping for a bit of contact here on the shooter to preserve it. A little bit cheeky there from Mark moving that stone before contact. I wouldn't be too happy if I was Brent about that. Pop and spill away, but yeah, it is a 3. So Brad Jacobs opening his account in this B qualifier here in Swift Current with a 3, and they take a 3-0 lead into the second end here in Swift Current.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Stronger agronomics, better returns, greater peace of mind from pre-seed to post-harvest. You can count on the Victory Canola program to keep you
Second end underway here in the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown B qualifier game. Brad Jacobs throwing a 3 on the board in the first end. Brent Pierce, British Columbia, with hammer here on end number 2. Hans Frauenlob here along with Terry Corbin. I am going to stir the pot a little bit here. That final stone that Brad threw, it was obviously going to be fine for the 3, but Mark prematurely nudging the target stone a little bit away just to see if it was going to go to T line. A little prematurely in my mind, Terry. I mean, it was always going to be a 3, but it was a little uncalled for, I think.
Yeah, it's. I guess if you know the position like really well, you're good friends. Maybe, I don't know. But I don't think that was a good move.
Regardless, I mean, it was undoubtedly going to be a 3-point end, but
100%. We talk
let's
about
see
that
how
all
team
the time, gamemanship, and
Nicholas Umbach, lead player for Team Pierce, being asked to throw a corner guard.
Yeah, that this end has not started the way Brent would have liked with that corner guard ask in the house. It allowed Brad to just play a takeout instead of, accumulating rocks in the house.
So Brad electing to try and choke off this corner guard by getting around it first. Probably be asking Brett Gallant to leave it relatively high in the rings, I would have thought.
Yeah.
But Hebert and Kennedy guiding it down the ice.
This has become a more common play. I mean, it's light. That's not where that they wanted it, but you see more and more now with that with the 5 guard or the 5 rock rule there. People coming in behind that corner guard after they've had their one or their second rock in the house. So with their 3rd rock, they're going behind the corner guard. I see that way more than you ever used to.
Some teams just preferring to declutter the center and try to neutralize the corner guard in the same process. But yeah, Brett was a good 5 feet light on his shot attempt. So
yeah.
Cody Johnson now with an opportunity. After dropping the 3, it's a bit of a curling cliche, but the old curling cliche is if you're going to drop a big end, make it the first end.
That's right.
So you don't have to go crazy here. 2 is good.
Yep.
See how much late movement there is. Pushes that stone back. 2 yellow stones, creating a bit of a pocket in the back of the 4-foot now.
Yeah.
No hit and roll play behind corner guard now for Brad. That'll be jamming all day, so inside flop the call. Ben Hebert signaling the weights up.
Yeah.
Now he's digging in to try and sweep for curl, hoping to save shooter. Will stay in the rings, but exposes the 2 stones in the back of the 4-foot.
Yeah, I'd say Brent's got off to a shaky start for Brent.
Yeah, we have such high standards and high expectations of Brent as an athlete. so many years really setting the table for Brad Gushu, and now Team Jacobs. It's a high standard when you're basically perfect most of the time.
I don't know about perfect, so I know nothing about
that's
perfect.
a standard I'm unacquainted with personally, but we're certainly used to seeing it from Brett Gallant.
Yeah.
Cody Johnson looks like he's being asked to cozy it up in front of that pocket in the back of the forefoot.
Yeah.
Trying to generate something. This one, though,
it's got to go.
Looks light.
Yeah.
Potentially usable guard, but Brad says, well, it's usable for us too, fellas. Let's go around it. Brad realizing force in this situation is great, but you dial up the pressure with these Yellowstones accumulating. Brent had to make a very difficult shot in the first end.
Yeah.
Didn't pull it off, and he's trying to put similar kind of pressure on Brent here in end number 2.
Mark being
left-hander.
asked to come around and get it top 4 on with his outturn.
Track looks pretty good.
Just gotta sit now.
And we'll pop out the other side, cover the pin, just barely past the intersection point of the tee line. I'm sure Mark will be saying that was an awful shot. I was 3 inches heavy.
Yep. Yeah, at this level, you're playing pretty precise spots.
Yeah, such high expectations of themselves, Team Jacobs.
Yes.
I mean, you got to admire this team. I mean, they are class up and down the lineup and hold themselves to really, really high standards.
Yeah, Brent's got to make sure he's got a chance to score here.
Yeah, still 4 rocks to come. So if you're going to do a setup shot, this is probably your last opportunity, just to reposition if you choose to. But you're right, Terry. As the end goes forward, and that door is closing shot to shot.
This one's got to really curl. Finish hard. There it goes. Got to get to the nose of it. Oh, just going to roll off.
Nicholas Mbach really leaning on it to try and get maximum finish. He's a strong sweeper too, so don't sleep on Nicholas. You know, Ben is a heck of a sweeper for Team Jacobs, but Nicholas Mbach can move the brush as well. Does pop into the open, however. Will be available for Mark Kennedy. Real cluster of yellow stones. Pierce playing the red stones, having the hammer, but potentially going to be looking at 5 after this shot.
Yeah.
3 of them pretty well protected. Well, maybe 4 of them pretty well protected if Mark gets a good roll here. Trying to ratchet up the pressure, which is already considerable on Team Pierce.
Yeah, that's good controlled weight.
Just going to get to nose, I think. Tiny inside.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Like I say, I mean, my gosh, you got to make sure you have an opportunity to score, or this game really could be over.
Well, this might be the situation where you'd hate to have to throw it, but you could pound the one that Mark just delivered,
Mm-hmm.
3/4, go rolling for the corner guard and hope you unlock everything, and you know you're going to leave one at least in the pile. But you could get 4 rocks moving if you hit the stone that Mark just delivered really hard just off nose.
I think the only way you're going to do that is by run that guard in, though. Or
Well, that could be the call here, judging by the brush position. They might be looking at running the red in. We're going to know in a minute, folks. Matthew Blanford firing it up.
Oh, Jesus, this is moving.
Yeah,
this is humming.
That's got a vapor trail behind it.
Oh,
Just removes one. Brad will say, yep, I'm happy just to put another one in front of it.
Yeah.
All the discussion is going to be about distance.
Yeah, full 8 foot. Yeah.
Yep, you'd love to hide a corner behind the red, but on the other hand, you don't want to expose the pin. So job one is cover the path that Brent might have to bail himself out at the end. If you're Brent right now, all thought about scoring 2 is gone. You're really just thinking about how do I score?
Jacobs is like a shark, man. He can smell the blood.
There is no doubt he is sensing a chance. He's got his opponent on the ropes a little bit. Trying to put him to the canvas here if he can.
Yeah. Out-turn draw called for the top of the 8 foot there.
So he's got plenty of weight. He's trying to walk over now, but this is going to be deeper than he would have liked, I think. Kind of come creeping into the front of the 4 foot. Good line. Maybe a foot deeper than he wanted. That's nitpicking. Nice shot.
Yep. Well, and I think the whole idea, behind where it is, it also really cuts down the path to the 4 foot, and getting right to the nose of that. It would, I suppose you could walk it down and put it there, but that's now a really difficult shot, and he looks like he's going to try and do what you said earlier, is run some rocks and get them moving, and hopefully he'll have more than one option, or he'll at least have an option for his last one.
Well, as it stands at this second, Brent can see the pin, but not much more than that.
Yeah.
So he's trying to create himself a tiny bit more room here with this shot choice. And if he leaves himself sitting high in the rings, then
that's right.
Maybe give himself something that Brad has to deal with.
I think if he hits this, well, I'm going to call it low side, but it's basically nose. I think he can get two, 3 of them moving.
Yeah, won't be able to get them all, but we'll be able to get some of them moving, and that would be better than the situation he's looking at.
It's got to curl big time. He needed to get all the way to the nose.
Yeah, gets 3 moving. Hey. Does unlock that stone, so improves the situation a bit. Still not much real estate, though, between the pin and shot rock.
No, for sure.
So Mark Kennedy saying that's where I think it should go, Skipper. Straddle the center line, front 8. And if he makes the double, we steal.
Yeah, I think you want to just nibble the center line.
Yeah, happy to show him the right-hand side of the shot rock, because that would leave a really narrow port to try and run, and probably leave him that. You can't take everything away here,
No,
but you can take an awful lot away.
Yeah, if he can keep this on the as I look at the screen on the left side of the center line, he may force Brent into playing that in-turn draw.
It's going to be a tough shot for Brent regardless.
Oh, is it ever?
I want a piece of that 8-foot, and they get it. That's pretty much where Mark Kennedy put his brush prior to the shot call. So if Brent doubles that, Jacob steals 2, so that's not an option. Well, it's an option, but it's not a good one.
Yeah. It's almost like, which draw do you want? Do you want to play the in-turn, out-turn?
So if you're thinking draw pin, now you have to draw around that stone that Brad just delivered front 8. That becomes your problem rock.
Yeah, and that's why I thought maybe they might look at that in-turn.
Well, in turn, you'd have to shave red, and it would have to curl a ton to get to pin. So they're thinking of the range of very, very difficult shots. This is the easiest difficult shot that he's got. And this is not an easy shot.
It's not an easy shot against 1, let alone 4.
So Brent Pierce looking to draw the edge of the pin around a stone in the front 8-foot, drawing against 4, final shot, and number 2. Pretty much a game saver shot right here.
Yeah, first off, you got to get it by the corner guard, then you got to get it by the center line rock that's just been thrown.
They've got it by the corner guard, but I'm not sure if they've got enough momentum to get it into the button area. They're sweeping it for distance now as far as they can drag it, trying to cut down the damage, but it will be a steal of 2.
Yeah.
We'll just wait for confirmation on that. Certainly a steal of 1. They're going to take a closer look at it, but from the overhead to me, Terry, quite clearly a steal of 2 for Brad Jacobs.
Yes.
So Brent Pierce reduces the damage, but it is a steal of 2, and Jacobs takes a 5-0 lead into the third end at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown in Swift Current.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Join us this March for the House of Hearts Charity Bonspiel in Duluth, Minnesota. Help raise funds for Project Joy, who provides meals for hungry kids in our community. Every donation helps to ensure no child goes hungry. Join us and make a difference. Together, we can spread joy.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
Third end is underway here in Swift Current at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. We are live on Curling Stadium and Curling Zone. Wherever you're joining us, glad you are with us. We are heading towards the business end of this competition. Fantastic competition. Men's and women's event here in Swift Current. Some of the best teams in the world are here. And Brad Jacobs has come out of the starting gate in this B qualifier like Secretariat, really, absolutely storming their way through relentless pressure, and they're enjoying a 5-0 lead here in end number 3. Hans Frauenlob along with Terry Corbin. Terry, what an impressive start for Team Jacobs.
Yeah, they wasted no time getting in the first end, getting the corner guard, and ended up scoring 3. And the pressure that they put on Team Pierce in that second end was just amazing. Didn't leave Brent with a whole lot. And at the end, I mean, Brent had a very difficult shot to try and get one. Was just unsuccessful in getting it to the forefoot. I mean, you can kind of sometimes say, well, okay, we dodged a bullet there. We only gave up one. But when you're down, you're already down 3. That one's big.
Well, that is absolutely right. And you could see that pressure building really from quite early in the end. It was just
exactly.
Feeling like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, Brent is going to have a 5%er on his last one. You could just feel it coming. And Brent did his best, cut the damage down to a 2. But boy, 5 down chasing Brad Jacobs, that is a tall order.
It really is. And, you know, we've got 3 other B qualifier games going on, and John Epping has a 2-0 lead over Brad Gushue, and Kevin Cooey's got a 1-0 lead over Ryan Kettler. And finally, Sam Moeybrook has a 2-0 lead over Charlie Thomas.
So lots of teams out here trying to punch their ticket to the playoffs. Team Jacobs, out of all of those teams, in the strongest position early in this draw. 3 stones in the rings, no surprises there. Brad Jacobs decidedly not interested in guards right now.
No.
Brent Pierce trying to figure out how can we manufacture a multiple here. He's got corner guards up. He's got opponent stones in the rings. Want to use those corner guards, but you know you're going to have to deal with those stones in the rings eventually.
Yes.
Cody Johnson. And you know Team Jacobs put a lot of thought around that stone placement, Terry. They're not just lobbing them in the rings. They're thinking about where do we set them to make doubles and angles difficult for Brent.
That is so true. You know, it's really nice to watch them talk some shots out. You know, we want it here, and they'll even talk about, you know, because if we go here, they've got this, and they get it narrowed down to, you know, this is what we want, and the execution is phenomenal. But it needs to be, because I mean, you've got 2 guys that are really good sweepers, you know, sweeping rocks, so you have a little bit, I think, more control over where the rock ends up. And we've seen Brent's team come up light quite a bit here in the early going.
Brett Gallant vaporizing the corner guard.
Yeah.
Exposing the red stone in the rings in the process. So that will take Brent's attention to the other corner guard. Saying, all right, back 8 foot. Push him back. Try to push some catchers back there. Generate some kind of a jam, generate some kind of offense. Cody Johnson. Looking to get a cross nose, probably about 3/4 across, with just enough weight to push that target stone behind the tee line. Wants to save his shooter, not pop out the other side. It's going to overcurl fractionally, though. Does get himself half behind that corner. Brad asking his teammate, how much of that one can you see, guys? Could dig it out from the outside if they decided they wanted to. But they said, nah. Play the open one.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of calculation you make when you're 5 up, Terry.
That's right. But even this, it's not just a rip it. This is, they make those decisions, like we can hit and roll out, but, we would prefer to roll to a specific area. And you can tell by the way this was thrown and the weight that's been thrown that was definitely in the cards where they want to roll this.
And roll it they do. Finding a piece of the 4-foot, out counting that red stone on the 8-foot. So you're exactly right, Terry. Not just whipping it down, they're beaking it on the nose, and that red one's out counting us all of a sudden. No, we want an inside roll, keep the weight under control. Now lying 4, so even though Brent's got one out there on the wing, kind of around the corner guard, you got 4 stones to deal with. 4 stones to come. Brent looking at the angles here and not liking a lot of what he's seeing.
I know. He'd like to see more red ones than yellow ones.
Exactly right. Or he'd like to see those yellow ones behind the tee, and they are not. So,
so true.
And again, that's all been paid off by that thoughtful stone positioning from Team Jacobs. Get to this point of the end, and the options are not great. Mm-hmm. You don't want to blast stones. You know that you need to save stones to score multiples. Brad Jacobs knows that too. So the way I prevent that, leave rocks clustered around the 4-foot in a pattern that really forces them to throw some weight.
Yeah, you can even see Brent's body language. There's a lot of frustration there.
Yep, it's not quite checkmate, but we're playing a checkboard, a chess game right now. It kind of feels a little bit like that.
Yes, I'm sure it does.
Matthew Blanford comes down to have a chat about it. All of the thinking is, okay, we've got one out there on the wings. It's 5th shot right now. How can we somehow bring that back into the scoring equation with 4 rocks to come? And, the answer to that question is it's still really hard to see.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say you top that one that is above the tee line on the 4-foot there. But your shooter's going to leave a double back. And you know that Jacobs will probably call that. So I don't think you can, just top that back and say, there, okay, now we got another rock behind the tee line.
Looks like they've settled on the hit and roll behind the corner guard, accepting that they're probably going to jam, but deciding that the roll's more important.
I think they're trying to, okay, yeah.
Blanford removes that stone, sits in front of the stone in the back 4-foot, so no outside roll, but not a clear path now for Team Jacobs to remove that. Natural looking double if you really wanted to get frisky, but no real need to take that risk on, I don't think. Brad's eyeing it up, though. Now they're thinking about, do we hit second shot?
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
I think you could make that double and shoot the red one through the hole, but I think I'd play it the other way. I think I would just try and hit it, and if I roll a little bit to the center, great.
Yeah, I think that's the play. No sense trying a circus shot double takeout and jam, and all of a sudden Brent's got a shot for 2, and right now he's got nothing if you hit it high side.
Yeah, and I constantly tell teams that I've coached, like, you don't want to fuel their offense. You got them down; they've got no offense. Don't help them.
Totally. That was always my maxim as well. You never want to make a shot for your opponent.
Yeah.
That one is going to be a little bit thin, though. Mark just stepped up his weight a little bit, and that one will creep out into a 5th shot position. So that improves the situation quite a lot for Brent.
Mm-hmm.
That at least brings 2 into the equation, and it wasn't there a minute ago.
That's correct. And now I think if you're Team Pierce, you get something in around that area where they have to take a run at something, and you might get a jam.
Well, from here you're going to have to trade 2 for 1s to get a multiple. You're going to have to make a double, and you hope that they don't double back. And then you're going to have to make another double yourself. But the way that the rocks are staggered and arranged now, they're much more favorable for Team Pierce if you're going to be trying that kind of tactic. So they're going to make a play at this stone in the front of the 8. Try to double a couple off. Roll towards that corner guard.
Yeah, and get a roll, but I think by doing so, you give them a double back, potentially.
It's 1, gets 2, stones in motion, rolls it over.
Wow.
Touches that stone, the edge of the 8-foot, and is that stone in the back?
Yeah.
8 out counting the reds. It looks like it might be out counting the second of the 2 red stones. Really important. Mark Kennedy's looking it up.
I think they might have got second shot.
I think they do. I think red is second shot right now. Just over-rolled quarter of a rock. Just touched it going by and spinned across the top. But, there's a glimmer here.
Mm-hmm. The light's a little brighter than it was 2 shots ago.
Yeah, no doubt. Brad Jacobs says, all right, we'll just pop. If we lose our back one, so be it. It's not an automatic, though. That corner guard is lurking.
Well, I mean, there's 2 things that, I think Team Pierce has got going for them. If he hits that on the high side, the contact rock's probably going to move towards that one on the button. So it means he'll tight and ticks that red one. That's a guard. You never know. It might.
Yes. Task 1 for Brad. Don't wreck on the guard, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Making a play at that redstone just to the left of the brush on the right-hand side of our overhead picture. Really the first time in the game that any form of pressure has been exerted on Team Jacobs. Ben Hebert jumping that one out of hand to hold line. They know it's going to finish hard with down weight. Nice job there, well by that guard. And look at this finish. It's going to get across nose.
Inside roll.
Yeah, how good.
Wow.
How good is that? Quality shot and a fist bump for the skipper. Nice shot all around from the Team Jacobs.
Yeah, what a great shot. And again, you see team play at its best. Very controlled weight shot with sweeping by Mr. Hebert there, and gets the result that they wanted at that inside roll. And when he went to throw that, I didn't know if you could get the inside roll unless you threw it really quiet. And I give Jacobs a lot of credit, because I think the instinct is to let's make sure we make play, and you overthrow it.
Yep. Takes real discipline to dial the weight down and throw it to the sweepers that you've got.
Mm-hmm.
But Brad did exactly that. And as you said, Terry, fantastic team shot all around, and champagne curling being offered to us in Swift Current today from Team Jacobs.
True, eh?
Here's trying to roll and save that shooter in behind the pile. And that is a mighty good pass. Leaves himself welded in shot position. Nice shot. Couldn't be much better than that. And it's a fist bump in return from Matthew Blanford. That was a pistol.
That was a great shot. That's a great outcome for Team Pierce.
Keeping hopes of a 2 alive here. Terrific roll. Absolutely neutralizing all those stones around the edge of the 8-foot now. Mark Kennedy clearing the path. That tells us what Brad's going to try.
Yeah, he's going to take this double on, I think.
Yep, blast red, run it back, even though it's kind of nose jammed. Catch it thin with a ton of weight, push it out the side door.
But where that broom is, man, like, it looks like he's playing the yellow. Like,
yeah, it looks like he's playing the yellow, but I can assure you, he's playing the red. There's going to be a vapor trail behind this one.
Yeah. This is close.
Fraction off nose makes 2. There's 1, there's 2, and there they go. Brad Jacobs does it again. What a fantastic shot.
Curling at its best, man.
Oh, absolute quality. What a fantastic shot that was.
Yeah, if we get another look at that you'll see he does not get by that guard by much.
Yeah, that was thrown with a bit of venom and absolute precision. Fantastic shot. So once again, Brent Pierce climbing into the hack on last rock, facing multiples. Easier shot to try and score a single point here, but facing 3. Final shot of the 3rd end coming up for Brent Pierce. Looking to get on the board. Sure, Team Pierce feels like, hey, we're doing everything we can out here, guys, but you're kind of going up against a buzzsaw, it feels like today.
Yeah, it really does. It's like watching Gushu at his best.
Perfect draw to the button there for Brent Pierce, so it is a single point on the board, and they are on the board, but Jacobs leads it 5-1 as we head for the 4th end at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown in Swift Current.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Saskatchewan, you know Sasktel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. With Sasktel sponsorships, we get to be part of your community. We're here with you, and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. Sasktel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sastel.com/sponsorships.
Play underway in the fourth end of this B qualifier at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown on Curling Stadium. Brad Jacobs with a 5-1 lead over Brent Pierce. Hans Frauenlob here with Terry Corbin. Terry, we talked about champagne curling from Team Jacobs, and boy, did we see some shot execution in the prior end.
Yeah, you know what? We've seen it for 3 ends. You're gonna get a look at this as Jacobs' last shot. They sweep it, just get it by the guard and or that shot rock, and he makes the double, and just phenomenal curling here. That was probably the fourth shot of the end that were just great teamwork, utilizing that the high heater that we just saw, utilizing control, weight, getting rolls, utilizing the sweeping. It's just been fantastic by Team Jacobs.
No, that's very well summed up, Terry. Completely agree. Top to bottom in the lineup, Ben Hebert's been getting lead stones in good places. Brent, after struggling a little bit early, has sorted out his game. Mark Kennedy, consistent and solid, and Brad Jacobs is on absolute fire.
Oh, yeah.
Looking to punch their ticket into the playoffs. They're enjoying last rock advantage here in end number 4, and you do get the feeling if they could throw a couple on the board here. I'm wondering if Brent and company decide that, well, looking like too big a mountain to climb and reload for that C qualifier.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly wouldn't be surprised. A 2 spot here puts them up 6 with, still lots of time to play.
Yeah,
but
4 to play. That's true.
You just know that, like, this may not be our game here, because they're on fire.
Yeah, it's a difficult battle. Brad Jacobs, one of the great front runners in this sport. You put Kevin Cooey into that category as well. You're trying to chase a game against a team of that quality with that kind of thunder up and down the lineup in terms of clearing stones, clearing rocks, making peels, and it just feels insurmountable.
Yeah.
But Team Pierce certainly not giving up. They are going to attack here and give it absolutely everything to try and keep the little bit of momentum that they've got with that score. They've got center guards up. They are overlapped. They're going to try and come around, and this is a very good-looking shot.
Very nice
They're going to
shot.
hide a corner. So they're not going to give up without an effort. That is for certain.
It does. It just very much feels like Jacobs is the shark in the water, and he smells blood, and he's ready to punch his ticket.
A little bit of discussion around where the contact point wants to be on this clear, but it does look like the attempted double clear of the centers is on here for Brett Gallant. Boom, boom, out go the Reds. Leaves his own stone sitting just off center, short of the rings, but good clear there from Brett Gallant.
Yeah.
Brent trying to calculate, where can I throw something where Brett isn't going to come back and throw another double heater.
I know. I'm tired of looking at those yellows.
Yeah. He's certainly seen a lot of that in this game, there's no doubt.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of has a feeling of inevitability about it.
Yeah, yeah.
You're shot, you're behind a bunch of opponents' stones. Say, all right, well, kind of guard for our life, guys, and hope that redstone somehow survives the entirety of the rest of this end. But Brad's got at least 2 or 3 angles to get at that shot rock. So you do your best, but
that's right.
Sometimes your best may not be enough.
Well, and if you're hoping, for Team Jacobs to, make an error strategy-wise, that's just not going to happen, I don't think. I mean, you got 4 guys that have been around the block, and they're very well. Well, I would say their curling IQ is extremely high, and you're not going to let the skipper kind of fall into this lull and maybe make a mistake. There's just no way that's happening.
No, you're not going to get brain cramps from Team Jacobs.
No.
Gallant looking to try the slash double clear, going to try and go over the top of the yellow and happily propel it forward. It's going to catch the inside, however.
Look at
there
that.
There we go.
And you want to curl how many more ends?
Exactly that. Guards are gone.
Yeah.
2 in the rings, belonging to Jacobs. Shot rock belonging to Brent Pierce. No protection. Just halfway through this game, but yeah, Team Jacobs execution so impressive.
Yeah.
Shout out to the ice techs and Swift Current. I mean, the playing conditions here have been fantastic. Lots of movement on the come-arounds. You can play those hack weight, backline weight, dig shots. You can throw the heat, track straight. Fantastic playing conditions for these athletes.
Yeah, I just come back from our provincial masters championships, and the ice was so quick and it curled so it was just great. It was awesome ice. It held up for the whole entire 8 ends. And while I'm at it, I just want to give a shout out to my friend and my curling foe, Brian Lewis and his team, for winning the men's masters, and Cheryl McPherson for winning the ladies masters. Well done.
Congratulations to them in the province of Ontario. Meanwhile, here in Saskatchewan, Brent Pierce trying to play Survivor Red, really. Somehow trying to create a situation where when he gets the chance to throw his last, he can get his stone into scoring position behind some cover. No hesitation from Brad Jacobs, asking Mark Kennedy to peel front.
Yeah, absolutely none.
So we're down to Skips Rocks now. Once more to the well, or is there a different shot choice you think that Brent might try here, Terry?
I think he's got to go around everything. Because obviously, I don't know how you guard that shot rock, because as you mentioned, Team Jacobs has got a couple ways to get at it, and I guess unless you even if you try and jiggle that, I'm not sure how that's going to help you a whole lot. I mean, I think I would be really tempted to see if I couldn't get it around. You'd
Certainly what they seem to be discussing.
Yeah, I mean,
so
I think
they're edge of the button.
Yeah, because they know that slash on the red is there, and you just can't protect that shot. I don't think no matter where you go.
So after some discussion, we think the play is going to be a T-line draw.
Mm-hmm.
Fighting edge of the button on the left-hand side of the overhead as we see it on the right-hand side of our picture.
I think if you could get this half around that top yellow on the forefoot, biting the forefoot, that's probably the best you can do.
Brent Pierce trying to put a little bit of pressure on Brad Jacobs. Jacobs with the hammer, though, and those two yellow stones sitting very menacingly in front of the button. So even if Brent makes this great, Brad's going to have a shot. He's got two to come, of course. This one's got a lot of moving to do if he's going to get a piece of the button. This one is going to be skating deep in the house, and this one might be right into the hack.
Yeah.
It is swept through the rings and out of play. So that feels pretty close to lights out, really, for me, for Team Pierce. Short angle run now for Brad Jacobs to be lying probably 3.
3, yeah.
See Matthew in the back leaning on the brush, Ken Dryden style, and it's kind of like, yeah, one of these days, this just feels really too hard.
Yeah. Mama said there'd be days like this.
No doubt about it. Brad Jacobs trying to apply the coup de grace here.
Yeah.
Still 3 stones to come in the end. Playing controlled weight, wants to save his shooter.
Again, I marvel at the the weight selections. This is not run down there and throw it as hard as you can and see what happens. This is well thought out.
Yep, execution again, spot on. Jacobs lies 3. And nowhere to hide.
Yeah, there's absolutely nowhere.
Brett saying, just double him off, except that he's going to make the 2. Hope he rolls out.
Yeah. This might be lights out. And if it is, just quickly, Epping leads Gushu 2-1. Cooey has a 3-1 lead over Klettler. And Sam Moybrook has a 4-1 lead over Charlie Thomas, another B qualifier action.
2 stones to come here in the 4th end. Brent Pierce. It's been uphill climbing this entire game. Going to try and throw a double take out of those stones in the front forefoot. But even if he makes it, it'll be an open hit for a pair for Jacobs.
The 1.
Just got the 1. So open hit for 3, and you get the feeling this will be game over. Last rock coming up on the 4th end.
Yeah, Brent's picking up his stuff.
The tidying up has already begun at the back of the sheet.
Yep.
Yeah, you just have to tip your hat to your opponent sometimes and say, oh boy, you're just way better than us today.
Yeah.
And not that Team Pierce have played badly, but Team Jacobs have been playing off the charts.
Yeah, honestly, this has been a clinic by Team Jacobs.
Yep. Handshake already being offered by Brent Pierce, even before the stone reaches the far end.
Yeah.
Jacobs removes that stone, sticks around. It is a 3 on the board, and it will be playoff bound for Brad Jacobs. Final score 8-1, and an absolutely comprehensive performance in this B qualifier at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. Terry Corbin, final thoughts? That was quite something.
Yeah, like I said, that was a clinic. That was an absolute clinic. I was being a little critical of Brent Gallant, saying that he hasn't got off to a great start. Well, guess what? Everybody else got off. I heard the gun go off for the start, and then Brent caught up. So
Yeah.
what an amazing display of curling by Team Jacobs.
Was a real treat to watch. So Team Jacobs into the playoffs. That will conclude it for this game. Do check out the other games still in action, the B qualifiers on YouTube, on Curling Stadium. Lots of action available for you. Playoffs yet to come for the men. Women's have qualified. It is going to be all kinds of great here at Swift Current. So please do rejoin us for more curling from the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. But for now, for Terry Corbin, I'm Hans Frauenlob. So long from Swift Current.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.